All right, welcome everyone to another Tech Tuesday. I'm your host, Coach Kane or Karamoko Kane. This is the 14th Tech Tuesday we're having, which is awesome. I love 14, it's my favorite number. It's the day I was born, November 14th. We're going to be talking about some cool stuff today. Let me go ahead and close this out. All right, like all meetings, this one, no exception. I like to share this QR code if you are interested in weekly reminders for these meetings and you kind of want to know what we're talking about beforehand. You can sign up using this QR code or click the link in the chat. I always forget to have that handy. Let me put that on there. I think 99% of us are already signed up, but I'll put the link in there regardless. Hmm. Right. Is that not working? This here. There we go. Link is in the chat if you would like to sign up and get weekly reminders about these Tech Tuesday meetings, what we'll be talking about. Also, I send out weekly emails with the recaps of these meetings. I know a lot of us can't always make it. So if you would like to re-watch at your own time and at your own pace, you can sign up here to receive those notifications for the videos I upload on YouTube of these meetings. I also send out cool agent tips, valuable stuff that will help you in your business. So this is just what that is. You can click the link in the chat, scan the QR code, or just email me. My email's right there on the screen. You will also see my contact information throughout this presentation. And if you don't see it, you can always just, ask me in the chat. Okay. All right. Also, before we get started, you can always interrupt me at any time. You can raise your hand to ask a question, preferably. That way I can get to you one by one in an organized fashion. Or you could just unmute yourself. It's an open conversation. Yeah, you can utilize that. Make sure to participate as much as possible. There's plenty of tools Zoom has here. You can let me know by actually using, there's a reactions button. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. You can tell me if I'm moving too fast, too slow, or if you want to give me a thumbs up or whatever. You can use the reactions feature for that. And sometimes I have polls, engaging fun polls that you can partake in and share your opinion on certain things, whatever it is we're talking about at that time. Also, these meetings are recorded again. So if you miss these, you can always go back to them at your own time and at your own pace. Okay. All right. Today, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I forgot to create a poll for today, so we'll use a previous Tech Tuesdays icebreaker. So you should see a poll on your screen. How often is the average American likely to move in their lifetimes? Hopefully most of you guys remember, but maybe not, we'll see. Also, make sure to mute yourselves, guys, if you are not talking. That way we can eliminate feedback and all that cool stuff. Awesome. I'm gonna leave this up for another 30 seconds. Today was pretty cool. We had a business planning meeting. I'm not sure if all of you or maybe most of you had a chance to attend. People won awards. I know Laura's in here. She won something really cool. We did bingo. We talked about a lot of cool stuff. It was really nice. So In the future, we're trying to have as many, in-person events in here as possible. So if you can join those, that would be amazing. You can get to meet a lot of cool people. You get to meet vendors, top producing agents, and all of the above. We're getting more people joining us. Welcome, Sumati. Nice to see you. All right, I'm going to end this poll. And interesting. Most of us think it's 5 times in their lifetime. So the answer is actually 12. The average American is likely to move 12 times in their lives. So yeah, that's a lot. So just keep that in mind and know that following up with people, always having them in your database and on some type of nurturing campaign, so that whenever they do move, you are top of mind. Okay, so this is an easy 12 listings or 12 buyer clients there for you if you can stay in touch with people long enough. Okay. Awesome. So that is that. I'm going to share the poll real quick so you guys can see. Yeah, 12 is a big number, but that's apparently what it is according to the National Association of Realtors. There we go. So let's get into today's topics. Let's see what I have here. So last time, this is what you missed in case you did not get a chance to attend the previous Tech Tuesday. We talked about using playbooks, which is a feature KvCORE has. It allows you to, take next steps right after uploading all your contacts into the system. It allows you to set people up with campaigns, alerts, and all that cool stuff, all in one neat, space. Obviously, it's been recorded and it's now on YouTube, but that's what we talked about last time. And today, we're going to be talking about setting up search alert and market reports for your KvCORE leads. And this is great because it's very easy to do. And this system, when you enable search alerts and market reports for leads, KvCORE does all the work for you based on what the information you provided. So you can any incoming clients or any incoming leads into your system can be set up with property, search alerts. So if someone's looking for a 2-bed, 2-bath, in the Torrance area, you can tell that to KvCORE, and KvCORE will, periodically and at the frequency of your choosing, send out, that material to the prospect or the client. And that's all automatic. It's there. And whenever they click on any of the results on that email, they will get taken back to your website where they can look for even more properties, give you more information, and reach out to them based on what they're looking at. Same for the market reports. You can choose a designated area. It can be all of LA County if you don't know what they're looking for, or if you do know where the specific client or lead lives, you can tailor a market report for them by giving KvCORE their address, and KvCORE will periodically send them updated market reports. And all this information is derived from the MLS, so you can rest assured that they're getting accurate information, as accurate as can be, because KvCORE works with your CRMLS subscription. All right, welcome. We're getting more people joining here. It's awesome. Okay, we already did a poll, and let's jump right into KvCORE and let's get started. And again, please interrupt me at any moment. Raise your hands, ask any questions. It's an open convo. There's no stupid questions. Everyone is at different levels. So please utilize this time and space to get as many of those answered as possible. Okay. Also, before we jump into this, a lot of you guys have been taking advantage of the one-on-one sessions that I do also offer. And again, this is at no charge. By signing up to that with that QR code, You can book one-on-ones with me, and we can focus on exactly where you're having trouble, on KvCORE, social media, branding, you name it. We can have a conversation about that. So that is something you also do have. Okay. So setting up search alerts. So once this is assuming you have all of your contacts or some contacts on KvCORE, we're going to open up the Smart CRM, which is on the left-hand side right here. And if I'm pausing periodically here, it's to let some people in. So excuse. All right, we're looking good. So yeah, to set all this up, you're going to want to find the contacts you want to set up alerts for. So if you click on your Smart CRM right here, that'll open up the list of contacts you have. And I'm just going to use some fake contacts for the sake of this presentation here. So that way I don't send material to anyone I shouldn't be sending material to. So all these contacts right here are not real people. So we're going to be practicing on these guys. So
Yeah, I'll show you.
Can I have one?
Don't forget to mute yourselves if I think some people don't know they're unmuted here. Let me see. Oh, some are looking good, I think. Cool. So to set up, we're going to start with search alerts, and then we're going to do market reports. Market reports are extremely easy to set up, but search alerts involve a few more steps. So let's take Amy, for example, here, who's in my system. Okay. So let's say I obtain Amy's information. Maybe she visited my website or I met her in person, and Amy is looking to purchase a property in Long Beach here, and she's open to receiving periodic emails about properties that meet her criteria. Now, without KvCORE, that journey would look like you logging onto the MLS every now and then and actually manually searching for Amy's criteria as far as what she wants, and always remembering to follow up with her with those new properties that hit the market that she may be interested in. So that's the old school way of doing it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it just takes a lot of your time that can be used to generate more leads. So KvCORE gives you a way to set that up so that KvCORE does all the work for you. It'll pay attention to the market. If anything comes on the market in the area Amy chooses that matches Amy's desired, criteria, KvCORE will compile all those results and automatically send that out to Amy every single week, if that's the frequency you want, every 2 weeks, every month, you name it. Okay, so now that we're in Amy's contact profile right here, we're going to look on the right-hand side of KvCORE. Okay, so this left side is more so personal information, the name, number, email address, et cetera. The middle is more so, your past interactions with that lead or prospect. And up top here, client journey just kind of shows you the status of that client. So you can manually choose where Amy is in her client journey. Amy can be part of your sphere of influence. She could be a prospect, she could be a new lead. So this is just a way for you to see what Amy's status is. At the bottom here, I get to see all of the past interactions or modifications I've done to Amy's contact here. Whether I sent her an email, a text, I've added her to a specific campaign, you get to see all of that information here. And on the right-hand side, this is where you can take action. And let's see, I think we're getting some feedback here. Don't forget to mute yourselves, guys. All right, doing a little better now. Sorry about that. So on the right-hand side here, you can perform, different actions to interact with the client in question. You can place calls, add notes, send emails, text, voicemail, a bunch of stuff. And this is not it. If you click on more actions, you have plenty more things you can do here, okay? I don't want to overload your brain, but just to kind of show you, you know, how this all is designed and what's where and what does what, okay? And if we look at the bottom side of this right-hand column right here, this is what we're going to be focusing on. So in this little square on the right-hand side, you can set property alerts like we're about to do. You can add a campaign so that, you know, if I have a buyer campaign, I can set Amy up with that buyer campaign to have, you know, specific marketing material sent out to her. I can set her up with a market report, which we're also about to do. A core present, we've talked about this a few Tech Tuesdays ago, but you can do that here. You can send Amy a listing valuation, seller report, and this is very new. There's a new app that KvCORE offers, you know, all its users at no extra charge and zero setup. You can just click send invite here, and it will send the contact in question an email with instructions on how to download that app and how it can benefit them. And this app is tailored to you. It has your branding on it, your number, your KvCORE profile photo, and anything they do on there is also tracked on KvCORE. So if they favorite a property, they you know, search for specific things, you'll be able to see that because KvCORE will, you know, come back to you and give you all that info, and you can market to them accordingly. So that's what all you can do on this section. So to get started, let's let more people in. So on the right-hand side here, say I want to set up a property alert for Amy. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and we're going to click add. Okay, before I click add, I just want to show you how I came here. Just find a contact within your Smart CRM, and then you're going to choose the specific person in question you would like to set that alert for. So for this example, we're choosing Amy. I'm going to click on Amy's name. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see property alerts. Okay, so if you want to add a new alert for Amy, I'm going to click the blue add button right here. And that's going to open up this window. So there's a lot going on the screen, and I'm going to take you through what everything means and what everything does. So up top here, a lot of people get confused with this menu up top here. So you can actually flip through different sections of a specific contact, you know, info. So before we jump into this, I want to make that clear. That way no one's confused. So if I click on timeline, right now we're on the timeline view. This shows you, you know, what we were seeing initially. This shows you Amy's name, her info, client journey, and all the actions you can take. Profile details up top here will just show you more information about Amy or the lead in question. Still will show you her name. It'll show you who it's assigned to, all her additional phone numbers, address, primary address, a whole bunch of information. You can even set her, you know, home preferences, more contact information, her birthday, her spouse, the whole 9 yards. And if you click the edit details button in this section, you can, you know, input all that info if you have all that extra information. Okay, and then alert, this is where we were. This is another way to access, you know, alerts for specific contacts. So remember, initially when you open up a contact, you're going to see this screen. And if you want to set an alert like we're about to do, you can click add here. That'll take you to, you know, the alert section, or you can just click alerts right off the bat, and it will also still take you here. Okay. Do we have any questions so far? I want to make sure I'm going at the right pace and everyone is following me. If you do, just put a thumbs up in the chat if you know how to. That way I know that we're all following and understanding properly. Do we have a question? I see a raised hand. You have a question, Mariam? Or maybe you wanted to do a thumbs up?
Remember how to, okay, I just wanted to unmute. What is alert 1 and alert 2?
That's a great question. So you can set 2 different types of alerts for each client. So imagine Amy here is looking for a property for herself and maybe one for her brother. So her brother wants a different type of property than she does. So maybe she would want to be alerted with, you know, things that match her brother's, wants and needs, and things that match her wants and needs. So KvCORE gives you the option to set up two different alerts. So maybe one's for a 2-bed, 2-bath in Torrance, and the other alert could be for a 3-bed, 3-bath in Palos Verdes. Okay, does that make sense?
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Right now, you can only have up to 2 alerts per lead, but I think most people are just going to be looking for one thing at a time anyway. But you do have an additional alert you can set up if you wish. Okay. Does anybody else have any question whatsoever before I move on? Looking good? All right, perfect. Let's see here. So yeah, this is how you get to the alerts. Remember, you can click on add from the timeline section like I did right here, add, or you could just click alerts up top here. Okay, this menu is just a quick way to jump through the different details of this contact. So we got profile like we've just seen, alerts like we're about to do. And if you want to store any files that are relevant to you and Amy's conversation, or when I say Amy, I'm referring to this contact, by the way, I don't want to confuse anyone. If you want to exchange anything or store any notes or videos, photos, documents pertaining to Amy, a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually upload files that correspond to certain contacts. So if Amy's sending me, a document that she needed to sign or whatever it is, I can just go under the Files tab and just browse here and actually upload it, so that no matter where I am, whether I'm on my computer, my phone, at a library somewhere and I don't have my stuff on me, I can always log into KvCORE and access those files here. Okay, this is extra information, but I just want you to know what it is. So you have a Files tab for every single contact in your system. On the next step, you have transactions. You can see all the different transactions you've done, with Amy here. KvCORE will list that. And if there are any tests that you have set, you can see those here as well. Okay, so that was just a real quick thing, but today we're just focusing on alerts. So like I said, we can set up to 2 alerts per person. So you can flip through them by clicking on, the respective one. So alert 1 here is what we're going to start with. By default, alerts are going to be off, obviously, because there's nothing going on. But make sure that when you set alerts up, this is turned on. Otherwise, you're doing the work, but nothing's going out because it's off. Okay. And down here, no activity to determine interest because we have not set anything up. And then settings will be also blank. So we're going to focus on this right-hand side and we're going to create an alert for Amy. So up top here, we're going to start with the area Amy might be looking for a property in. So I love Torrance, so we're going to put Torrance in here. Okay. Whenever you type anything in the search boxes for, property or areas, KvCORE will always give you suggestions. So whenever you type any character, just give it a second. You'll see this little loading bar on the right-hand side. It will think, and then it'll give you where it is that you might be thinking of. So I'm going to type Torrance, and you can do the city of Torrance, the area, and it'll give you counties if there are counties, based on what you're searching for. But we're just going to do the city of Torrance. So I'm going to click on this, and then it'll populate down here. If you type something in here and just leave this as is, it'll go away. So make sure your selection is outlined as such and like this. So the area we're looking on behalf of Amy is Torrance, okay? Or this is a little bit more advanced. Say Amy has a particular area she just wants to stay within, and maybe it crosses, different cities. So you really want to be specific in the areas you choose for Amy. I'm just going to show you what that looks like if you do encounter a situation like that. Because some people don't want to cross a certain freeway, they don't want to cross a certain area, and the place they're looking at might be really hard to find if you're just typing in cities. You don't want to overload them with a bunch of search results, so you want to be as specific as possible. So just to show you how that works, I'm going to remove the city of Torrance. We'll put it back just now, and I'm going to click draw on map. Okay, and if you use the MLS, like 99.9 of us probably do, because we're all realtors, hopefully, it works similarly to a feature on there where you can also draw the area you're looking to, generate results in. So I'm going to close this and open again so you can see what I did. You click on draw on map, this blue button right here. It'll open up a map of, the US. So we're going to type, you can either type for a location, or you can just zoom out here and just kind of choose. I don't even know where this is. Where is this? Oh, San Francisco. So we're going to choose, let's go to Los Baños, wherever that is. So let's say Amy was looking in this city called Los Banos or Baños. I'm not sure how you say that. And she did not want to be anywhere near, this major freeway. It looks like it is. So let's zoom in a little bit more. Let's say Amy only wants to search for homes in this square right here. Okay, I'm doing a bad job at choosing an area here, but let's choose this square right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on draw area. Okay, this green button. Once we've honed in on the location we want to outline, you're going to click draw area, and then it'll turn your cursor into this plus right here. Okay, so once you have this plus showing, we can click each point. So each point is going to act as a corner for, the places we're searching for. It doesn't have to be a square. I can, click as many points as I want, just like that. Let's say Amy was looking here. Okay, so once you connect, you click on all of the different corners, always end where you started. Otherwise, it will be a little confusing. Okay, but let me put that back here. So always end where you started. This might be self-explanatory for a lot of you guys, but I just want to make sure I'm as thorough as possible. So this shape that I just did here, I don't know what this shape is called, but search results will only include properties within this selected field. So now if I click on apply selection, that is where KvCORE will be looking for the following criteria we're about to cite down here. So that's how you choose a specific area. But we're just going to go with the city of Torrance to make it simple. So I'll type in Torrance, let it load, and then find the city of Torrance. Okay, so there we are. So down here, I never used this. Apparently, you can also use geographical areas rather than MLS areas. I've not seen any difference, but just to stay consistent, I keep this off. I wouldn't really mess with that. You're not going to see any differences. But it is an extra thing KvCORE has. It says geographical areas pool listings based on latitude and longitude or longitude. I never know how to say that word, rather than MLS areas, because some of them may differ. But if you're selecting cities, then those are pretty defined across the board. Okay, so we're going to scroll down here. So now that we know we're looking in the city of Torrance for Amy, what kind of listing type is Amy looking to purchase? Okay, let's say it's not we don't want coming soon. We want stuff that are actually, well, we could want coming soon properties, but you can also choose commercial, condos, contingent, etc., or single family, like most people, buy out there nowadays. So if I click on single family, that'll be selected as one of the listing types Amy will be alerted with. If she's looking for other types, we can do that too. We can click back here and maybe add townhouse. And then maybe she also might be open to condos. So I'll click condos. You can add as many of these as you want, okay? And on here, the more specific you are with the criterias, the more properties you may leave out of your search results. So try not to be too meticulous and too specific, but don't be extremely broad either. Because when you're too broad with your criterias, you're going to tell KvCORE to just send a bunch of different results, like 20, 30, 50 properties. And that may be a lot for Amy to look through. But you don't want to be too specific either, because then if Amy only gets 2 or 3 properties based on the criteria you've set, you're probably leaving out, other things Amy might be interested in. So try to get a good balance of what Amy is looking for. If Amy says she really wants something with 3,000 square foot, don't put 3,000 square foot, put, between 2,500 to maybe 3,500. So you get to see a wide range of, different properties, even though she specifically wants 3,000. We don't want to exclude anything. Hopefully I'm getting my point across. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave single family here. And then price range, obviously you don't wanna send out, unrealistic price ranges for Amy here. So if you do have a pre-approval with this buyer, you can just put things that are within that pre-approval range. But if not, which can also be the case, you can kind of set your own price range here, nothing too outrageous based on your idea of that buyer's purchase power. So for the sake of this example, let's say Amy is looking in Florence between the price of 600,000 all the way up to $1 million. Let's put that on there just for the sake of this. Let me count my zeros here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. So Amy is looking at this price range. So I'm going to put that on there. Okay. So beds. Let's say she wants a 2-bedroom. So I can put 2+ here, or you can even do 2.5+. You can be very flexible with this stuff. But again, remember, the more specific you are, the more stuff you leave out. So maybe for this example, I'm just going to put any. So anything between this price range, Amy will receive, updates on. Same thing with bath, square footage. You can specify all that stuff. How many acres, year built, you can also specify that, even down to the keywords. So if I click on add keyword, some properties can have keywords like, newly renovated, or, walking distance from this place. If you want to search for properties with certain keywords, you can also write that in here so that KvCORE can look for those and add those to the search results. Okay, but I'm going to stay open with that. Options, if you click here, you can also, find some keywords that are very popular, such as walkable, fixer-upper, open house, adult, 55+, etc., green energy. But if you don't see what you're looking for there, you can just add your own keyword. But again, I encourage you to leave this open, because if you click any of these up here, let's say walkable, any properties that match all of these other criterias but do not have walkable somewhere on the description will be left out. Okay, so that's why I'm really stressing being as open with these criteria as possible, but not too open. Okay, so we're going to take this off. Down here, this is up to you, but the frequency right here is referring to how often, how frequent do you want KvCORE to send out these results? Do you want this to be as soon as possible? So this means every single time something comes on the market that matches the criteria we've just set, immediately send it out to Amy. So that's what this would do. If you want to do it daily, KvCORE will compile every single property that came on the market, compile them in a list and send that out every single day. If I do once, twice a week, KvCORE will compile everything that came through, the past 2 weeks and then send that out to you, so on and so forth. So kind of gauge through the conversations you have with the prospect or the client, see how often they want to receive these. Because if you're bombarding people with emails, at some point they might unsubscribe from you. So try not to be, too spammy with it either. And try to also not space your emails out too much, because then it looks like you're not following up, or you're not really, keeping in touch with your clients. You need to be there for them. So I think personally, I usually do either once a week if the, prospect seems to be very, eager and really wants all the information. I'll just kind of gauge if I have a conversation with them, and you can directly ask, hey, how often do you want me to send you these results? Do you want every day, every other week, twice a week? But if I don't know, I usually do, bi-weekly. That seems to be fine. And down here, last field, if you want to CC yourself every time KvCORE sends that email, I think it's a good idea. You want to know what these people are being sent, so you can type your own email here. And whenever KvCORE bundles up all these results and send it out to the prospect, you will also get sent, you will be CC'd in that email, so you can also see. Okay. If you don't put anything in here, yes, you can still see what they've been sent by going to the profile, timeline section. It'll show every email, every text, every type of interaction you've had. So that's another way to see that. But I encourage you to put your own email here. Yeah, you will also be notified. So that's what you put there. So now that we've set all this up, we go all the way back up top here. And then you have two green buttons here. You can set alerts, or you can save and send. Okay, let me tell you what the difference is between these two. When you set alerts, this right here will, create this alert we've just set up and actually turn it on for you, but it will not send them an email immediately. So if you want to set up this alert and also send them one immediately, you will press save and send. That's setting the alert and also sending them the first email as soon as possible. I think after a certain time, after 8 or 9, there's a cutoff time where KvCORE will not, send automated emails. It'll wait for the next day at 8 a.m. So basically saving and sending, saving and sending, yes, save and send, this button right here will save this alert, turn it on, and immediately queue the first email to get sent out as soon as possible. But if you just set alert based on your frequency, so this one, for this example, this is twice weekly. If I just set the alert, KvCORE will not send an email right away. It will wait for the first 2 weeks to pass by, then send that first email. So that's the difference between the two. Okay, so I encourage you, whenever you're setting these up, just press save and send. That way, one is going out immediately, so they can start looking at stuff, and then they can expect the next one at whatever frequency you have. But it's up to you, honestly. That's the difference between these two. Okay, so I'm going to actually click on save and send so we can see what that email looks like, if you will. So there you go. I'm going to press that. It's going to save. Perfect. So now that we've saved, a lot of stuff just changed here, and let me walk you through what exactly happened. So you can see that on the left-hand side, initially, the alert was inactive, so it was off. This was not turned on. So saving and sending will turn it on for you. And then down here, summary basically summarizes the interaction. The person you're sending this to, if Amy was to check her email and actually start looking at these and clicking on them, KvCORE will tell me exactly what's been going on this tab right here. Okay, so that's what the summary tab is for. And down here, settings, this is all the criteria as we set. So remember, we said we wanted this search alert to be in Torrance. We want it to be single family. We didn't specify any bedrooms, so don't be scared if it says 0. This just means it's, whatever is out there, basically, within this price range. So we didn't specify bathrooms. We just gave it a price range, location, and the listing type, how often to send them out, and what email to CC all of these in. And then on the right-hand side here, as you notice, we already are getting some results. Looks like there's plenty of properties that match this criteria that I've set. Okay, so KvCORE will give me a preview of, it looks like 6 of them. So what I can do is if I click on the view all, this actually takes me to my website to view all of the results. Okay, so if you look here, it looks like there is 27 results found in Torrent for the criteria I've set. And if we go back to KvCORE here real quick, if you notice, the name for my alert is also 27. So this number you see up there basically tells you how many results are in the most recent email that is going to be sent out or has been sent out, if that makes sense. So whatever number you see up here is how many results were yielded based on your criteria. Okay, so 27 searches we see up here. And if I go to my website, like the link we just clicked on, you can see 27 results. So that's what that is. So you yourself can scroll through all of these and kind of see what came up. Looks like, you know, we got quite a few good looking properties here in Torrance. And when Amy logs onto her email and sees the link, she will get taken exactly here to your website, which is very powerful because Amy is going to look at all these. If she clicks on this one, for example, she can see more photos about it, more details. Let's let this load here. It looks like it's being a little slow. There we go. So, oops. I'm gonna click on this. Yeah, so if Amy clicks on anything, she'll be able to look at photos. All this is on your website. She can save properties. She can chat with you. She can ask you a question, request a showing. Anything Amy does will be logged to your KvCORE, and you can always see all of that information by logging on to KvCORE and going to your dashboard. So if you click on your dashboard right here, anything anyone does, you know, you're able to see. If I scroll down a little bit here, most of these are me. So I had a lead here called Perla. She clicked on my website, you know, viewed the listing. I can even see what device they were on. You know, she logged on a computer. And it looks like Joy came back again and she logged onto my website. Another person called James was viewing this property. So you can see anything people do. They can, whatever they view, whatever they favorite, whatever they scroll through, which is powerful information because now I can call these people and I can say, hey, you know, my name is such and such, and I see you logged onto my website and you view this property. Are you looking for something similar to that, or are you interested in this property? So you can leverage all of that data to better market and, you know, position your services to the potential leads. Okay, so let's go back to Amy here, so I can show you all the other cool stuff we can do. Where's Amy at? Amy, there she is. Awesome. So I'm going to click on alerts so we can go back to the screen we were on. So yeah, on here, it'll show you a preview of all the results. So it'll show 6, but we know there's 27 based on this number up there. If we wanted to set another alert for Amy, all we would have to do is click on alerts 2 right here. And we'll get that same screen where we can set up, you know, another type of alert for Amy if we wanted to. So very quickly, I'll just put something in here. Let's type Long Beach. I'm gonna click City of Long Beach. Let's say we also want single family. Let's say 750K to 999K. Okay, and we'll do once a week, and I'll save and send. I just want to show you what that would look like, you know, setting 2 different alerts. So there you go. You can see alert 2 now has 58. So that tells me there are 58 results within alerts number 2. And I can see a preview of the first 6 right here of properties in Long Beach that are single family, and they're between this price range. And I can tell that every week, Amy will be sent, you know, an email with a link to check all of these out. Okay, Misty, what's your question?
When it sends out the alerts the second week, does that alert include the houses from the previous week? Are they all new houses?
They're all new houses. So KvCORE will not send the same thing again, unless for some reason they unlist the property and list it back again. So, but
Okay.
that's probably not going to happen. So yeah,
Thank you.
okay, for sure. So you can have two alerts, and if you want to disable the alert, you can always jump on the alert section and just switch this off. Okay, so now I've just switched off alert number 2 here. Okay, and I can switch off alert number 1 here, or I can turn it back on. And if Amy changes her mind, she wants, maybe she got qualified for 2 million and we want to change the price range, we can click on whichever alert that we were working with, come down here, click edit, and here we can change this number now to up to 2 million, and then maybe 1 million to 2 million. Boom, and then we can update the alert. Now, when I update the alert, that doesn't send, that just updates the criteria for, now the next week or whatever day was supposed to be the next day that the email gets sent out. It will have these updated criterias. But if I want to update and also send one immediately, I can do so by pressing save and send. That's the difference between these two. One of them just saves it and then wait for the next date it was supposed to be sent out to send it. And the other one updates it, but also resets that clock and sends them one immediately or on the next possible date. Okay, so I'm going to update this alert. And now, boom, the search alert was saved. And now next week, because this one was actually, once a week. So next week now, Amy will receive properties between that 1 million mark to 2 million mark, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that's how you create alerts, how you turn them on, turn them off, edit them, change them up, and CC yourself in there. Now, very quickly, more things you can do with this. You can always go here and click email recent results in case for some reason they didn't receive it or they want you to send it again. By going into the alert, you have some quick action buttons here. You can click email, that will email it to the lead in question. Or if Amy wants a text, she's on the go, but she doesn't have her computer and she wishes to see the results for this alert, all I have to do is click text recent results. And if Amy's phone number is in KvCORE, that's just going to go out there to Amy and it will text that to her. And if Amy just wants a link that she wants to share maybe with her husband to see, hey, check out all these cool properties, you could click this button right here and it'll copy the link to, all of these results right here. So you have all those quick actions buttons right here you can use. And let's go back to the timeline up top here, which is where we get to see everything going on with Amy. So as you can see here on the right-hand side, under property alerts, we have 2 active alerts. Okay, this is what we just did. Alert 1 has, the Torrance properties starting at 600K, and alert 2 is in Long Beach starting at 1 million. So you can always see who has alerts enabled through this page right here, or you can obviously click on alerts and check whatever is going on there. Okay, so let's say, actually, no, we've already covered that. So this is search alerts. And before I ask for questions here, remember I press save and send. If you want to see what's being sent out to specific contacts, you can always go in the middle section here and in chronological order, it'll show you every email being sent out to, or every text or every note you take. So as you can see here, there's 2 emails, one's for the Long Beach one we did, and the other one's probably for Torrance. So I can click view here, and this will show me what just got sent to Amy. And check this out. KvCORE built all this. I did not type a single letter of this email. It'll have EXP, new listing matches, and it'll have a preview, of certain search results like all these down here. And you can view all the matches. By them clicking on this button, they'll get taken to your website. And it's so well designed, and all this is automatic. And down here, obviously, you can have KvCORE add your signature, and this is tailored to you. So it's really, really cool stuff. Okay, so this is what Amy will see in her inbox. And something that's also really nice if you hover over the email icon, this will actually tell you if the person has opened the email or not. So take this feature with a grain of salt, because some email providers do not share the information whether or not someone has opened an email. But if you do see this opened, the icon will change, it'll turn blue. And then you know for sure the contact has opened up that email, and then you're aware that they've seen it. So you can, on your next follow-up, you can ask, hey, what did you think of the properties I sent you? So you get to see all of that here. And even here, this is what the Long Beach one, yeah, Long Beach properties. So this is for the property alerts. Okay. Now, market reports are 1,000 times easier. And before we move on to that, is there any question about anything I did so far? Are we experts in setting up alerts? Do you have questions about anything I just did so far? Miriam, yeah, go for it.
I'm always struggling with setting up sellers on this. So how do I do the sellers? Or that's a totally different session.
What do you mean by setting up sellers? So what are you trying to do exactly?
Clients who want to sell their homes.
What information are you trying to send sellers, so I can best answer your question? So what are you trying to set them up for, basically?
That's my question for you, to see how do I keep that connectivity with the sellers?
Okay.
KvCORE.
Yeah, that's a great question, and that actually is a great segue into the market reports, because for sellers, they're probably not searching for a new home. Maybe so they are, but sellers are going to be interested in what's going on around them. So maybe they might be interested in a market report of their area. Something else sellers might enjoy is a listing valuation. I'm going to go through the market reports and then I'll show you how to set that up. But market reports and listing valuations are going to be more so geared towards sellers, because they get to see what's going on in their market and see how their home fares, in comparison to what's going on in the market. Okay, so I'll get to your question very shortly, Miriam. Okay.
Thank you. Another question I had was, it said 2.5 bedrooms or 1.5 bedrooms. So what is the half?
You went out there. I'm so sorry. Did you say what's the half?
The criteria, like 2 bedroom and like 2.5 baths.
Yeah.
1.5 baths, but it says 2 or 2.5 bedrooms. So what is that? Yeah.
So in certain homes, I don't know what the criteria is. I think if it doesn't have like a shower or something and it just has the toilet, that's when it's considered a half bathroom. Yeah.
I'm clear, like a powder room is half a bath. But my question on KvCORE, one of the criteria is how many bedrooms? And it had option 1.5, 2, 2.5. So that's what I didn't understand. Maybe some
for the bedroom specifically. Yeah, that's a great question. Does anyone want to chime in as far as what's considered a half bedroom? Because I did see that too, but I never really paid attention to it.
I've done this 30 years, but I've never had such a like, this is half a bedroom, by the way.
I guess it's a thing, but that's a good question. I don't know if Frank's still here, or if anyone can chime in on that, but yeah, that seems to be a thing.
Maybe you guys have half a bedroom, we don't know.
For sure. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But thank you for the question, though. I'll get back to you on that for sure. Awesome. Looks like let's see. We have another questions. Ms. Jones, go for it.
Yes, I have a quick question, and I hope I'm not going a little too fast or above, because I kind of use my KvCORE every day for the most part.
Okay, that's good.
But for me, my thing is, like I get a lot of people that are like interested, or I get sellers, or, I mean, with buyers, of course, that's easy, because you can just reach out like, hey, would you like to go on a showing? Would you like to see this? But say with my sellers, I get them and I see that they're opening my market reports. And I try to send
Mhm.
out a market report every month. So I'm not kind of like
Okay.
bombarding them.
Okay.
And so when I see that I have their attention at that time, what's the best way to kind of capitalize on it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when you do see that they're interacting with your emails and liking things or viewing them, best way to capitalize is, hey, give them a phone call. Say, hey, I see that you're active on the website. You viewed this and that property. So try to call them. Use that as at that point, it's not a cold lead anymore because now you have some type of familiarity and you can reach out to them over phone call and close the deal. The next best thing to not being in front of the person, that's the easiest way to close a deal in a listing appointment. If you're face to face with a person, it's much easier. But the next best thing is over a phone call. It's hard to close a deal just via emails being sent back and forth. So capitalize on that interaction and give them a phone call. Let them know, hey, I see you're interested in this. Do you want to find homes that are similar to this one? And kind of go from there and be more hands-on. And at that point, I would maybe even unsubscribe them from, if they have listing alerts or market reports. And based on what they're telling you, if you need to change up what you're sending them, you can kind of gauge that from there and be more talkative over the phone, be more hands-on with that contact until, you get them pre-approved, get them in a home that they like and close that deal. Does that answer your question?
Totally. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would just start talking to them at that point. All right. Miriam, do you still have a question? I see your hand is still up.
Yes. It might not
yeah.
be related to this at all. On my KvCORE, I have
Mhm.
it, and it says the source is organic website, systems, agent website. So what does that mean? And then second, how do I follow up with him on this KvCORE thing?
Yeah. So if you guys look here on my screen on the left-hand side, you can kind of see, a summary, and it says, what the source of that contact is. So when you see source or, system source, it's mainly the same thing. This just tells you how the contact was obtained. So if someone logs onto your website organically mean that they didn't directly click on a link that took them there. Maybe they were looking at something on Facebook, Instagram, and then they saw a link to your website and they clicked on it. That's organic traffic, traffic you did not actively generate. But if you give the link to your website and someone goes straight to your website, that's a direct, I forgot the what KvCORE calls it. Yeah, organic is someone organically finding it, you not actively sharing links and linking people to it. But direct is people you most likely share the link to and they clicked on that to get to your website. So that tells you how that contact was obtained.
That's actually really good, isn't it? It also says
yeah.
The website they were on before registering was .google.com.
Yeah, it will tell you that. So that tells you basically where people are coming from, so maybe you can even utilize that to capitalize on that. If everyone is on YouTube and clicking on your link you have on YouTube there, maybe focus on making your YouTube better to start even capturing more leads. So that's a very powerful piece of information you can utilize to capitalize on generating even more leads. So that's why that's important.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other questions before I cover market reports? And I promise it's just a 5-minute thing. I know we're over the hour mark here. Anyone else? And I see Jones, you still have your hand up. Do you have a follow-up question?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, no worries. All right, so we're gonna cover market reports here, and this will tie into your question from before, Miriam. stuff you can send to sellers. Do you have another question, Marian? I think
Yeah, how
they
to
just
follow
told me.
up this guy that he came to my
Okay.
website. How do I make sure that this is like the alert is set up? Did he set it up himself? Because I know I didn't.
How do you? I missed the question. How do you set it up? Is that what you said? The
I
alerts?
looked at the guy and it shows there is an alert going to him.
Okay.
Does that mean like he set it up?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So based on how your KvCORE is set up, you can actually have systems in place where when people get added to your system based on their source. So that you asking what the source was is great, because hopefully everyone understood what that meant. So based on the source of the lead, KvCORE can automatically add an alert. So let's say someone was looking at, a property on your website from let's use another city. Let's use Lawndale. Someone was looking at a property in Lawndale, and then once they tried to see more info about it, your website prompted this box for them to sign up. So they put their email, they put their phone number. Now, when they get added to the system, based on the property they just looked at, KvCORE will automatically create a market report or a search alert with that property address as the center or the location for it to look for these other properties or similar properties, and it will automatically create that alert, activate it, and keep following up for you. So
it's not the guy himself has set it up. It's the KvCORE sets it up.
yes, so yeah, KvCORE can do that automatically.
What is inside? There are 5 stars and there's none of them highlighted. It says based on search criteria,
Mhm.
Atherton with 5 bedrooms, 7 baths, around $28 million, a bus, whatever the person. First signed on 10/18, active a day ago.
Right.
Generated from organic website.
Right.
So
So
because of that search, KvCORE sets up, I see, and then sets it to this guy. And how do I check that to see if he's looked at it or not? Where do I go for that?
if they've looked at a email you sent, is that what you mean?
So the emails they have opened, like the leads that they get from KvCORE, the properties they get.
Yeah. So anything that KvCORE sent out, as far as emails, if you look at my screen here, and if I hover over here, you can see whether they've opened it or not. If it's closed.
How do I get?
Oh, how do you get here? Okay.
Yes.
So when you go into your smart CRM right here, you get to see all the contacts. So if you know the person's name in question or their email, you could just type that in here to find them. But let's say for you was Amy. I'm gonna scroll back to Amy just like we were. So once you click on a contact, this page opens up, and then you get to see all this information. Do you see that?
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And also down here, this is a great example. So it looks like Amy, like quote unquote, opened this email. So this is what it would look like. So at 8:52, it'll tell me Amy has opened up this email that I've sent. And if I click view, I can see what that email said. So now that I know that Amy has opened this email, I do decide to call her up, I can say, hey, Amy, I sent you a market report December 6th, at night at 8:43. What do you think about the properties? And you get the conversation going from there. And that's very powerful, knowing that they've opened up, your email. So you can check that here. So that's one way you can tell what people have been up to on your website or as far as the things you send them. Way number 2 is if you go to your dashboard, which is up here on the left-hand side, you get to see everything that's been going on. And if Amy or whoever your prospect is, if they click on any properties, it'll tell you, hey, such and such person viewed this listing this many days ago on this type of device. And you have quick shortcuts here to email them, call them, text them, or do a core video, which is a whole other thing. But you get to see it on the dashboard as well. Okay. You can even customize your dashboard to only show you the information you need. So if I click on the all activity tab right here, I can only see new leads, new text messages, new emails that I'm getting, property views. If I click on property views here, it'll only show me property views. So if I scroll here, you can see all these leads, Lucio, Anna, Roth. So all these people are going on my website, clicking on these properties. You see the address and all that stuff. And you get to see this information on the dashboard as well. So this is kind of everyone. But if you want to see them on an individual level, then you have to go to the Smart CRM, look for the specific person. So in our example, which was Amy, just like I did, you can find Amy on here by searching for her name or just scrolling through. And then you can kind of click on her name. And here I get to see, Amy, an email was sent to Amy, and I can see if she's opened it. And another one here looks like she hasn't opened just yet. Okay, so I know I went on a tangent there, but hopefully somewhere in there I answered your question. Yeah.
Puts a stop. They don't want to receive that. Does KvCORE automatically on itself stops them the alerts, or do I need to do something?
Yeah, so KvCORE will not automatically stop alerts. You need to go in the alerts, and I don't know if you remember how I did that. If you go to the alert tab here, or you click on whichever alert you want to disable, let's say alert 1. All I have to do is just switch this off right here. Now this alert is off, okay?
Thank you.
So that's how you turn off an alert. All right, so that's that. And as promised, let's wrap it up with the market reports. So in the same way we did property alerts, if you want to set up a market report, and the difference between the two is property alerts will send out, a curated list of properties that match the criteria you've set at the frequency of your choosing to your lead. But let's say your lead is not looking to buy a new property, at least in your area, and they just want to sell their property. Maybe they're most likely going to be interested in the state of the market. So that's where you can come in and provide them with periodic market reports of their area. And the way you would add a market report is still, again, on this right-hand side under the timeline section. I'm just going to click add, and it's going to open up this menu where I can put in the location for which KvCORE will look at and generate a market report for. So let's say Amy here still is interested in Torrance. I'm just going to type Torrance here. Wait for the load, and then click on Torrance. And then down here, you only have one other field. Very easy. If I want to send that report every 7 days, I can leave it as is, or I can do every 14 days, 21 days, or 28 days. And if I click add, just like that, Amy is now set up with market reports of the city for the city of Torrance. Okay, by default, it's not going to send one immediately, but if I want KvCORE to send one now, well, you could just come right here and click send now. I'm gonna do so right now so you see how that works. So I click send, it'll load for a few seconds here. And then there you go, sent. And if you pay attention to the middle section, now a new email was sent to Amy, and the subject is Torrance market update, for Amy. And again, I can click view and see what that email looks like. There's Torrance, average sales price, great information, obviously branded to me. It'll have your photo on there. They can message, view the report, and any type of action they take on this email. Let's say Amy is opening this and she wants to view the full market report. All she would have to do is click here on the email. It'll open up a new tab with my website on there. It'll load up, and lo and behold, show Amy with my branding. Okay, this is all automatic. With my branding, my photo right here has a QR code, and it'll say, hi, Amy. This is like super cool. And I really love this stuff. And I really want everyone to utilize these systems because it's so easy. Once you set it up, you just let it go. It'll say, hi, Amy, here's how the market's trending. It'll show everything that's going on in the city you chose, or county, or wherever it is. They get to see all this information. And because KvCORE also has a new app, it will tell them, hey, open my app today and stay connected on the go. You have nothing to do with any of this. KvCORE just does all of this stuff for you. So just like that, you can, set Amy up with market reports. Very quick up top here, they can ask you a question. They have, this is all personalized to them. So that's the second part to this. So listing alerts. And that is that. Do we have any questions on that, what I just did right now? And this is for sellers and buyers too, it doesn't matter. We experts on market reports and listing alerts. Any questions, anything at all? Doesn't matter if it's too advanced or too, don't be afraid if it's too beginner. There's no stupid questions.
I have a question. This is Angela.
Yeah, yes,
What
Angela,
if my market report is not highlighted? Do I have to
Okay.
have an email address, or can we do this with contact number?
Great question. So you will not be able to set up property alerts or market reports if there's no email on file for the clients. Okay. So if you look
Okay.
here, the only reason why this is working is because Amy has an email here. But if I was to delete Amy's email and refresh the page, it will not work anymore. So you see this up here, it'll say no valid email, and none of these will go out. So I can't really show you properly, but it's grayed out because there's no email, basically.
Okay.
So the short answer. Yeah, so
Okay,
make sure to
but-
grab that email if you reach out to them.
Right. So you can use the listing valuation of their home to text to them? Sorry.
The listing, I think even that, let's try it out together actually. So if I click on, are you referring to listing valuation here, right? The one I was
Yes,
talking
on the
about
right
here.
hand side.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So let's say the address is 123 Main Street. Okay, let me put 123 Main Street in LA. I'll press save. Okay, yeah, no, that one also needs an email. Because if I take this off right here, I'll save.
Okay.
And then I actually cancel this. I'll try to take it off and add it. That way we both kind of find out together here. I
Okay.
don't do many of those. In street, save, update and send. Yeah, I don't think it's sent. So I'm gonna see if an email was sent. Yeah, valuation address was removed. Yeah, it looks like no email was sent out, so it will not work without an email. So you need to have that for sure. And the email is the most powerful
Okay.
piece of information you can receive anyway. So always shoot for a client's email if you can. Have that under your
Got
belt,
it.
okay? Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Miriam, do we have another question?
I do have two more questions. One is the hashtag you put in. How does it apply and how do I do it? I still am confused on. And the second question I have is the import export of the contacts. Because I'm on Mac platform, I always have problem with that. I put in like individual. So is there any way that I can like a batch pick up and dump it in there?
Yeah, so you can upload multiple contacts at once, bulk import. Let me see if I can find, I did a video on that. While I'm searching for that, can you tell me what the first question was again? Sorry.
The hashtag. How do I?
Yeah, what about the hashtags?
That's basically for sending emails to particular subject, and is that what it's for?
So hashtags are a way for you to categorize leads. Okay, so you can use hashtags to search for a specific group of people. So let's say you have first-time home buyers, sellers, veterans, nurses. If you go in the hashtag section, you can, add hashtags to then be able to search for those hashtags later. And if you want to send an email only to those hashtags, you can do so. So it's just a fancy way to categorize your contacts, if you will. I did a few Tech Tuesdays where I talked about that. if you can, go ahead and give me a text or an email, and I will link you to those videos. And I'll definitely talk about those maybe in the upcoming Tech Tuesdays. But it briefly, long story short, it's just a way for you to add like a tag to specific contacts and categorize them in different buckets. And then you can interact with those different buckets individually by only targeting the specific hashtag in question. Does that kind of make sense?
Thank you. I know concept, but actual doing it, I don't. But
yeah,
I'll find your YouTube. I'll look at that.
Yeah.
Contact.
So
Just
yeah,
putting them one by one is just too much work.
it is a lot of work, but doing it one by one. But I have covered that, and please remind me if I don't, send me a text, and I will link you to those videos. Or if not, we might cover that in a future meeting.
The phone number that I got here, the link, when you send me the link for.
Yep, that works, and you can reply to that email too, whichever way you prefer.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I'll find that YouTube video for you. Do we have any other questions? I know we're going a little over here. I want to make sure I answer everything before we close out.
I do have a question on the number, but I don't know if it's relevant for the session you just took.
Yeah, what is it?
I signed up for a specific number, the smart number, and
okay.
so I find it extremely difficult because when you get a message on it, you're not able to respond to it right away. There's a lag, and then it's not like your regular messaging, which is also a little bit of a handicap. And then I don't know how to explain the issue. It's not like regular messaging, as simple as that. So I don't know how you overcome that.
So I think you can use your smart number, just as your regular number. But I think the intended use, at least from my understanding, if you're going to send out 1,000 text messages at once, you'll probably want to use your smart number for that. But once anyone replies to you, try to utilize your, actual number moving forward. That's at least how I do it. Once I make a connection with the client, then I start using actual phone number. Because if I'm not by KvCORE, I am not able to, actually reply using KvCORE. So use that as a number you put on maybe your business card, your website, so that your personal number is not just out there for everyone to take, because there's a lot of scammers and marketers out there that are going to bother you forever. So when you put public content out there, or you send mass marketing, content, maybe put your smart number there. And then when they text you through that, you still get it on your personal number. But when you want to reply, maybe then moving forward, use your actual personal number. So that way there's no confusion. Well, it's a little less confusion. At least that's how I utilize mine. And you are right, there is a delay. Sometimes, you're not going to see things refresh immediately. But that's my advice on that, if that makes sense. I kind of get your frustration there. But yeah.
It is, because I was thinking I would be using it pretty much like a Google number. So
yeah, no, it's a little different. It's a little different.
It's a little more restrictive. And also, if it's a new person, like not any person you network with is going to be a buyer or a seller. It's just a contact. So again, it comes as a number. And then to save it as a contact is also a little challenging. I had to jump through a few hoops to figure out how to put that in, and it's still not there. So
wait, what do you mean? I didn't understand that part. You
so
can't
I went to
save
this.
contacts?
I introduced myself to a few people.
Yes.
I pulled my card out, and one of them tried to reach back, and I removed my personal number, and they just messaged back saying that, hey, did you reach back home safely? And just generally, and it comes new lead, new lead. Every time they message, I was getting frustrated.
Oh,
Easily.
yeah, I
Yes.
see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, every little message comes up as a new lead, new lead notification, and then you're not able to, save them easily. And then when you say switch them over to your regular phone, then how do you make it?
Oh,
Uh,
so is your personal number and your smart number the same thing? Is it the
no,
same thing?
no.
Okay, because I mean, when you use a smart number, you really want to be mindful of what your process is going to be moving forward, because it can be confusing having two numbers and then clients don't know what should I call, which one is you, which one's not. So
Right.
setting the expectation right off the bat, depending on what number you give them, just tell them, hey, this is my office number. So initially when you contact me, use this, but then I might reply to you faster using this number. But if you're getting those messages, that means that you might be where are you putting the smart number? Because the only way you would get new lead is if people call that smart number, and it'll only say it once for every person. I think that's the part I'm not getting. So where are people seeing that smart number at? Do you have it on the card, or are you just giving them that number?
On the card, yes, I'm giving them that number. I also put that on the
Okay.
link.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a big opportunity there for, the KvCORE team for sure, but there is a way to turn off all of those notifications. You don't have to pay attention to them. But yes, I do feel your frustration there. I had that for a moment, and it gets annoying getting those notifications. I have it turned off. If you download the KvCORE app, you can shut that off and just operate as you're doing. But
I have
yeah, I
the
think
the KvCORE app is
Mhm.
another level of frustration altogether.
Ah, okay. Well, tell you what, so maybe I use it often and I know where those frustrations stem from. So if you don't mind, do give me a message and we can set up some time to talk about that. And I was meaning to do a phone tutorial anyway. So for
Okay.
anyone having issues with that, we'll talk in depth about the best practices when using the mobile app. Okay. But
Yeah.
thank you for that question, though. Now I know to bring that up next time too.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions from anyone?
Yes.
All questions welcome. Yes. What is it?
Okay. Can that smart number be our own number instead of KvCORE generated number or the one that we pay for?
Yeah. So based on what it said, at least when I purchased mine, you have the option to type what number you would like it to be. And if that number is not available, they will just assign a number that's as close as possible to that one. So I have a 424 number and I put my actual phone number there initially because that's what I wanted to be my smart number. But then it was not available. So they just gave me this one up top here. And looking back, I actually think it's better to separate your personal number and your smart number because no matter what you do now, anyone that calls you, you're going to get a lot of notifications on your personal cell. And your smart number should be a number you use to, market yourself. So if you have your personal number on there, you're going to get all sorts of, scam calls on your phone at all times. But if it's the smart number, you can have that filter, that roadblock for unwanted attention. And you can always, have your personal number safe so that you're not bombarded with, random calls from random people. Because imagine you do a video and it blows up and you get 1 million views on it, which is great because then you get to collect a lot of leads from that. But the number on there is your personal cell phone number. So you're going to start getting calls from actual leads and random people who just want to bother you for no reason. So having a separate cell phone number for your smart number as KvCORE can be like a filter that protects your actual number. But everyone's use is different. That's just how I go about it.
Great, thank you. Also, the
Yeah.
text you wanted me to send you, it came back with a message. It says your text to KvCORE will not be delivered. Please use KvCORE, the KvCORE mobile app, or text your contact directly to respond. So I don't know where to.
Okay. Yeah, let me drop my number in the chat. Actually, that's a good point. When you text someone who has KvCORE, it will give you that message, so that's my bad actually. And I've had this happen before. So if you text anyone whose number is signed up on KvCORE, you will get that message back. So you would just have to text my personal number straight up, if that makes sense. I'll put it in the chat and also go to it really shortly here.
I do send texts to people through KvCORE. I never get this message.
No, not through KvCORE. So if I'm signed up on KvCORE, I'm a user of KvCORE, and my smart number is connected to my personal number. So if you text my smart number, and your number is also registered to your KvCORE, which it is, all of our numbers are registered there, it will give you that message. So you would just have to text me, directly. And I put my number in the chat there.
It says it was
Okay.
not delivered. So,
This new one too?
well, the 1-424-400-679.
Yeah.
That's when I got the link for Zoom.
Yeah. Don't text that one. Just text the one I put in the chat, because that one's through KvCORE, and because your personal number is linked through. It's this weird system they have in place, and I scratched my head for the longest trying to figure out why. It just there's a conflict there with your personal number being attached to KvCORE and mine too. So you texting me directly there won't work. It's a little complex and hard to explain, but use the personal number to reach out to me. That'll work better.
Also, I want to make
Okay.
sure I pronounce your name correctly.
Yeah, it's Karamoko.
Karamoko. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Perfect. For sure. Awesome. Any other questions?
Yeah, so many. I think you're over.
No, I mean, I love these. I love this. I love as many questions as possible, because it helps everyone when they look back on this meeting. So I like it when I get questions. Then I learn too.
Yeah, this was my first time and I'm quite impressed. Thank you so much.
Ah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's right. I haven't seen you here before. So welcome.
I had given
All right.
KvCORE and just.
No, don't give up. You're good now. You're in the right group. You're in the right group now.
Thank you.
Okay, so for sure, I think we're looking good. We lost half the people. I know it's very late, so thank you everyone for listening to me for an hour and a half. Hopefully you were able to get some value out of today's meeting, and they are always recorded. I'll post this on YouTube as soon as possible so you can rewatch if you need any more information or anything else from this. Last chance, any comments, anything before we close it out? I think we're good. Awesome. Sounds good. Well, everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining, and we will have comps training at 8 p.m. with Renee tomorrow. And the next Tech Tuesday is 7 days from today. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
All right.